This is a documentary on Ozzy the Iceman. One day, two German hikers were walking and spotted a body. The hikers were a married couple, Erica and her husband. The husband and his wife thought the dead man might have had an accident, or perhaps had been murdered and left there so his attackers would forget him. The hikers could tell by looking at the body it must have been there for a while, perhaps 10 years or more. So they called the county sheriff and after the autopsy and were told that what they were looking at was nothing recent. They were dealing with something very old. They called in the archaeologist to determine that the body is about 5,300 years old. The archaeologist spotted a big wound on the back of his head. They thought he must have been whacked by his attackers or hit. But later on, in the investigation of this case, it was said a frozen water stream was responsible for it because it moved the body along the creek. The archaeologist's theory that he was lying on his back and his head was laying on the ice for a long period of time. He was covered by snow and ice. That's what kept his skin intact all these years. What was more stunning about Ozzy, the Iceman, what the archaeologist paid more attention to, was the tattoo on his neck. The tattoo looked like a symbol of some kind. Things like that tell them a little bit about who they were and how they lived. The body was found in September 1991 near Husland. That is when he first was discovered. He died at around the age of 40. They named him Ozzy the Iceman because he was found buried in the ice. He was named after where they found him. Who killed Otzi and why? There have been different theories by people everywhere. One of the theories came up is that he could have been hunting with his buddies and one of his buddies shot an arrow at him by mistake, mistaking him for an animal. In those days, people covered themselves with animal fur to protect them from the cold. Archaeologists say that he was a shepherd at one time, and his village was attacked by unwelcome guests. Ozzy was trying to run away from the attackers, so he ran to the mountain's hill so his attackers could not catch up to him. So the attackers shot an arrow at him. So the attackers shot an arrow in him. My theory is that he could have been a criminal and the people were after him were trying to bring him in for justice. What makes this theory interesting and more complex is what they found inside of him. They found an arrow made of stone. And how did they determine that the body was an old body? They found an artifact near him. What was amazing about this body was his skin was still intact because the ice kept him well preserved. There is no way of really knowing what happened to Ozzy's homicide case. So many questions. What did he see in his lifetime? Did he see a mammoth or a giant sloth? Did he hunt them? Was he a follower of God? Was he a father? Did he have kids and a wife? With questions like these, we can only theorize. Was this person murdered for nothing? Or did or did he do something like break the law? Did he steal some lambs or goats? Or was he an evil man who did evil things that made an attacker come after him and hunt him down? Or was he a very kind man who was trying to make a living? Other reports of Ozzy said that he was a well-known leader, and he was a highly respected person in his community, and he could have been a tribe leader or perhaps a medicine man. The more that I study about Otzi and his history, the more I research him, and it makes me feel like I actually knew him. I know that I don't actually know him because he's been dead for a very long, long time.